that has struck me the most about this course is that we never appeared to come to a conclusion over a definition of what leadership is or the essential makeup of a leader. In my reflection today, I will share how my definition of leadership has evolved throughout the course to what it is today. In conjunction with this, I will also discuss the essential ingredient that I believe a person must have to be a leader. And finally, I will discuss what I've learned about myself in relation to leadership during this course. Firstly, how I define leadership. After Rod Brent spoke in the first week, I thought that a trait-based definition was sufficient to determine who and who wasn't a leader. A few weeks later, after Michael Platlow spoke of the pitfalls of a trait-based definition, I thought that a situational or contextual definition was the best, that a leader was defined by their actions. However, as the course progressed, I can now see that leadership cannot be just defined by a person's actions or their traits. It is a combination of the two. Maria merely cited that who a leader was has an impact on their ability. Ian Chubb said that a leader must be fearless and also have a strong value set. And Angus Houston provided numerous characteristics that a leader should have, including direction, communication, and the ability to build relationships, to name a few. So to me, a leader is a person who can create a balance between their actions and their traits to handle situations effectively and efficiently. While there are many traits I believe a leader should have, such as passion, determination, resilience, and vision, I found that a leader should epitomise the 5 C's described by Angus Houston, namely culture, communication, consultation, coordination, and cooperation. Coming from a mathematical background, I see my definition of leadership as a mathematical equation. It is a combination of a Cobb-Douglas function from economics and the indicator function from statistics. So basically, a person's leadership is a combination of their actions, power of alpha, multiplied by the 5 C's, or any combination of them, to the power of 1 minus alpha, multiplied by this indicator function. Now, the indicator function will take the value 0 if the person, X, is not an element of this group I. So this leads me on to my second point, which is what makes or breaks, the element that makes or breaks a leader. This group I that is so important to the model that if a person does not have it, they cannot be considered a leader. This I is for integrity. There is nothing more important than a person's integrity. It's the foundation for both a person's actions and many of the 5 C's, but most importantly, culture or relationships. If a leader has questionable integrity, then they're not going to be able to form strong relationships or create the right culture to get anything done. People will not respect them or follow them, and under my model of leadership, we cannot consider them to be a leader. As Sarah said, what is left when honour is lost? Leadership is a learning experience. You must learn which actions and which traits can suit each situation, and this can only be done by applying them in different circumstances. Leadership is something that develops continuously over time. I recently saw Stephen Fry in Melbourne, and he relayed a story to the audience that is a useful analogy for the development of leadership. The sport of basketball was played using peach buckets. It was the biggest example of peach bucket. And it took 21 years of the sport being played before someone suggested we cut a hole in the bottom of the bucket so we don't have to collect the ball with a ladder each time a point was scored. So this story makes a very simple but important point. We all think that what we're doing now makes perfect sense, but at some point, whether it be 1 year or 21 years, we're going to realise that there is a much better way of doing things. Finally, onto my personal learnings. I'm a perfectionist with high standards for both myself and for others, so I can become frustrated when people don't meet my standards and I feel I have to do everything. As the course progressed, I considered my need to develop my coordination and cooperation. I discovered that I am not a ruler. I should not measure or compare other people to myself. I've come to the realisation that in group work, people have different ways of working and thinking and have different things that motivate them. So just because something works for me, it does not necessarily follow that it works for someone else. This epiphany will help me in the short run at university when working in group environments, but it will also help me in the long run when I'm working professionally in group environments and need to recognise and value diversity and harness differences to get the best out of both my team and myself for the company that I work for. Thank you.